many of the new candidates have been to a council meeting when they're quite open to be at the public? I haven't seen any of there on a Wednesday night or any of the subcommittee meetings. Don't tell me you know about council if you've never been there.
And one of the things I am clearly standing for is to change things, and that includes change processes. If a third of the council meetings, the workshops, are held excluding public, I have said that I don't agree with that. I want to actually change the processes. So that's what I'm proposing to do.
I haven't been to council meetings, I'll openly say that, and I don't think they're well publicised. I don't think the candidate meetings were well publicised, so that's my answer.
I've been to the Council of Elders meeting, but you don't need to go to council meetings to know that there's something wrong and we need a brand new start and we need to clean out the whole system and take us into the future with policies that are going to transform Hamilton.
Can I answer? I'm just going to say that I've been in business for 37 years, and believe me, council is a totally different animal to what people think. You need experience in local government politics and to know the processes. And I think without that experience, listen, the councillors and the mayors only have one vote each. In particular, a mayor only has one vote each. So unless he's got the councillors on their side, it'll be an obsolete mayor. It's happened before.
You know, I'd like to address that. Look, what I would say is this. Look what experience has given us. We are here today for a very serious election. Look what all this experience has given us. Serious issues that need to be addressed. It's not about experience. It's about leadership. It's about skills. I've got those skills. So have some of the other candidates standing. It's time for new people with new ideas. It's not a closed club. It doesn't, you know, you don't have to do the same thing year in and year out. And can I remind you people that you elected a mayor in 2004 who had never been on council. Can I also remind you, whether you like him or not, Tim Shadbolt has never been on council. He's been always the mayor. Can I also tell you that Mark Blumsky in Wellington never was on council. He was elected mayor of Wellington. In fact, they've had several mayors of Wellington who have never been on council. Can I also tell you that in Wellington, a shining city that we all look to for guidance as to how they have revitalised their city. It was Mark Blumsky who took absolutely positively and made that city what it is.
One of the advantages of not having been on council before is it gives you free shot to make things up. And one of the things I want to challenge is the comment that Julie just made a moment ago. I think it was a third of decisions being made in workshops. That is absolute nonsense, and if she'd been around council, she would know it is nonsense. The law is very, very clear on this issue. All decisions are made in committees and in council. They cannot be made in any workshops, and the only things that can be determined in private are things about the rights of individuals, contracts, and so on. We do about 12% of decisions. They're about land purchases, they're about debtors, they're about things you would not want on the front page of the newspaper.
What can you do to remove barriers to walking?
We had a really interesting experience at, I think, the last council meeting, or one of the last council meetings. Well, no, it was the annual, the decision of the annual plan, where Roger, for the first time that I can remember, started to try to cut some money out of the budget until somebody reminded him that that was the money that had been put aside to improve walkability at our intersections, and he'd been the one that actually recommended it. There's a whole series of things we need to do. Intersections are a problem for walkability. Tunnels under the ground are a problem for walkability. Bridges are a problem for walkability. So we are doing what we can throughout the city, delivering walkways that don't, in fact, sit alongside the roadways. So where we can separate, we are. Everywhere in the new developments, we are creating new walkways that are separated from road. But in the existing city, there is always a challenge about how you can improve access, particularly around really busy intersections.
We're putting $2 million a year for the next 3 years into just what you're wanting. Where are you? At the back there, sorry. One of the things you did ask me about earlier when I came in is you've got a drawing of an underpass here on Cobham Drive. That actually was supposed to be meant to be paid for and done by Transit New Zealand. It was a deal a mayor did about 3 mayors ago, and it never eventuated. This sort of underpass that you got here, it's Peter, isn't it, Peter? This underpass that you're showing me here should have been paid for Transit New Zealand. It isn't. Council is now investigating just a bit further down for an underpass, and we're getting engineered drawings and costings on it as we talk. So accessibility to our gardens will be better. But one of the other accessibilities we can for those gardens is to get the paddle boat back from Auckland, get it back into Hamilton, bring it down to the gardens and transfer people from the gardens back into the CBD. Do you know why the boat went? The boat went because council wouldn't spend $50,000 to put a pier in for it. But we spent $50,000 for consultants to do a report afterwards.
This is the visionary answer to your question, because that's what we should be giving you. And that is get more cars off the road. And that's about making the public transport system better for us, looking at trains in the future for our city, getting the river taxis, with respect, Bob, going, because that's vision. You plan today for how your city will be in the future. You don't stand still.